Thanks, Michael. It's been a lengthy and rewarding day here in the Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes, and this is our first match on the main match table that will decide who goes into the last 64. This is a winners' qualification match between two world-class players. Roberto Gomez from the pool nation of the Philippines, the mad pool nation, and Albin Ouschan, who spent a lot of time in the commentary box of late. Relatively early exits from the World Pool Masters and the World Cup of Pool, yes, but it must be remembered that right here in Milton Keynes, at the start of this Matchroom Pool series, he won the Championship League at his opponent, Roberto Gomez, and my partner for this is Christina Tkach. Welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
So our first question, Christina, have you enjoyed the day?
I did. It was interesting opening match for me for this tournament. I played Mika Immonen. Was a little nervous match. I was 4-0, 4-1 up, and I lost. So it's time to get some rest, get some practice, and get back to the table tomorrow.
Albin Ouschan, one of the toughest players you can possibly imagine. He puts so much thought, so much practice into the game. He is desperate for victories, and you have to include him on a short list of potential winners. That said, though, Roberto Gomez came very close to capturing this title in 2007 at the Araneta Coliseum in the Philippines. There's a massive crowd over there. Everyone in the crowd, or shall I say the vast majority in the crowd, wanted him to win, and he lost out to England's Darryl Peach. So he almost claimed the Holy Grail. As for their wins to get here, well, Gomez sailed close to the wind. He beat Stuart Colclough 9-8. It was a little more comfortable for Albin Ouschan, coming through 9-5 against Fabio Petroni of Italy. That was a really tough first round draw, playing another former Mosconi Cup player. And Christina, given the way he struggled in his first match, I think it's important for Gomez to make a good start and to start reigniting the confidence we know he can have.
Yeah, I feel like it's extremely important to start the game with getting some racks. One, because if you don't, then Albin is going to dominate so fast. So it's always better to run out if you have a chance. especially with a winner's break. It's very important to take any opportunities you get from the beginning of the match.
Now, what would have done Gomez a little favour there is if the cue ball had just caught the bump of the middle pocket and ricocheted it out into the middle of the table, or at least further away from the side cushion. The pot on the 7 shouldn't be too difficult, but if he's dead straight, which he appears to be, then manoeuvrability of the cue ball could be compromised. There you can see no angle to speak of.
But I still think if you just run it a little bit just to make a 7 ball and let the cue ball run a little bit, it's still gonna be fine for the 8 ball. Just like that. And just do basically the same shot on the 8 ball.
Yes, of course he wanted to have an easier pot than this, but sometimes you have to accept the card you're dealt.
Yeah, a lot of times you have a choice of making a hard shot, but after that you're gonna have easy ball, or making it easy now and leave yourself a harder shot.
So there it is, Roberto Gomez draws first blood. The Filipino leads the Austrian 1-0.
Oh, it's an honor to be here, the biggest tournament in the world. Albin who? Everybody is a tough. This World Pool Championship, it's invitational, so they invite everybody, the best in the world. So I don't need to see who's my opponent is, because my opponent is myself. Roberto Gomez, world champion. Wow, I can die.
He is such an effervescent personality, together with his good pal Jeffrey De Luna. Full of life, full of verve. 42 years of age. Weathers well, doesn't he?
Yeah, De Luna is definitely big energy ball. This is how we call him between ourselves.
Well, they'd settle for that break time after time, Christina.
Yep. It looks like he can make the 3 ball on the side. The only issue is with the cue ball, where it's gonna end up after pocketing this ball. He decided to play it in a corner pocket. And I think it's a pretty good position for the 4 ball. What do you think?
Well, let's put it this way. If he doesn't run out from here, he will be disappointed. This is the key shot, of course, potting at distance. Well, the technique left an awful lot to be desired. Lots of shoulder in that. But he got what he wanted, i.e. the pot and position, although not quite ideal. That said, he can bunt the cue ball through and pop the 6 readily available into the bottom left.
Yeah, I don't think you've got enough angle to make a better position for the 6 ball, so
due to COVID-19 travel restrictions, not as many top-class Asian players in the field this time. One of the countries to miss out, obviously Chinese Taipei, and also the Philippines, only a couple of representatives. So let's hope that one of them has a deep run.
Extension code.
That was a good shot from the position that he got. A lot of spin. And it's not as easy as it looked like, because when you put a lot of spin on the new cloth and new tables, it can slide a lot. So it has to be really intense shot.
And then the 9-ball to follow. So Roberto Gomez has made a very agreeable start. He leads by 2 racks to 0. So Albin Ouschan in a little spot of early trouble. And earlier on, we got his thoughts about this match.
The goal is, of course, first to make the group stage, and then it's a knockout race to 64. I think it's also about the form, about the draw a little bit, and I think it's all about the start with the winner's break. Everyone comes here with the same goal, probably, to get the title, but I think, like I said, with winner's break, it's going to be much tougher than the previous tournaments, and I think, well, some favorites will go out early.
Well, I agree with Albin's assessment there. Some favourites will go out early. Some favourites already today have been very vulnerable, and yet they've produced some terrific comebacks. Obviously, Fedor Gorst in the opening match from 6-2 down, and also Jason Shaw from 6-0 down.
Leading by 2 racks to 0.
Yeah, it's not an easy format, and it equals the game a lot, because basically everybody can run out, even if you're really down or up. Same that happened with De Luna in his match. His opponent run 5 or 6 racks on him. I mean, it's almost nothing you can do from the position, from a sitting position. So that's why every single rack is very important to win if you have a chance, because you never know when you're gonna come back for the table.
Spot on, our guest commentator for the first match this evening, Sanyan Pelovanovic. He also ran 6 consecutive racks, confining his opponent to his chair. And that's the kind of thing, make no mistake, that Gomez can do. By the way, 2 players already through to the last 64, so they have tomorrow off. Nikos Ikonomopoulos from Greece beat Thomas Kaplan from Poland 9-2 a little earlier this evening. And Torsten Homan was very impressive in overcoming Mika Immonen 9-3.
Not an easy 6-ball for Roberto, because on the new table again it's very easy to overdraw the ball.
Extension code.
I think he overrun this ball just a little bit, but he should be fine.
Good stuff from Gomez, the former TV reporter back in his native Philippines, is making news himself. And that's because he leads Albin Ouschan 3-0. Around the show table here, 2 semicircles of pool tables. 16 in operation simultaneously. So many matches today. It really has been a logistical task to get them all out there. And on table 2, that's the familiar figure of Christoph Reichers, who partnered Joshua Filler to triumph in the recent World Cup of Pool, overcoming in the final England C Darren Appleton, his opponent tonight, and Carl Boyes. Knowing Darren and the competitive spirit in him, he will want to win that match badly. Well, it's going okay for Appleton right now, 3-1 ahead, and it's going very well for Gomez, Christina.
Yeah, he looks very solid, and it looks like his break working pretty good. And he's getting obviously a little lucky on the break, but he still managed to run out racks, which is the most important thing.
Yes, with a player like him with his skill set, if he does get lucky on the break, he's going to be very difficult to stop by anyone.
Absolutely right. As any good player, I feel like every top player here can run out the whole set, and I'm sure we're gonna see some of those moments further in the tournament.
Gomez trying to enhance a great Filipino history in this championship. Efren Reyes, in the eyes of many, the greatest player of all time. He won this in 1999. Ronnie Alcano in 2006. Other winners, Francisco Bustamante, and most recently in 2017, Carlo Biardo. I can tell you another player into the last 64, Daniel Mathiol, who has defeated Naoki Oi 9-2.
Yeah, Daniel is a great player from Poland. We've been playing a lot of tournaments together in junior events, and he's a very solid player.
Am I saying his name correctly? Mathiol? Mathiol?
Mathiol, yeah. I'm not quite sure myself because it's a Polish name.
You're closer than me.
You're right.
Well, the beat goes on for Roberto Gomez. This is really impressive stuff. And poor old Albin Ouschan, well, for him, it's again sitting down and waiting for his chance. Gomez leads 4-0. As I said, Daniel Mathiol coming through 9-2 against Naoki Oi, and that was the decisive ball. An understated fist bump, and now it's all about the losers qualifying match for Oi to see whether the man who gives us such tremendous interviews can remain in the tournament. Other second round scores for you. Niels Fine leads Yip Kin Ling Liao 6-3. Radislav Abicha, he's 5-0 up on Skylar Woodward. David Alcady, he's 6-4 up on Jeremy Searcy. And after a slow start again, Jason Shaw leads Michael Kavenciak 7-5. Mark Vidal leads Billy Thorpe 7-6. And Fedor Gorsht leads Mark Gray also 7-6.
Rack 5. Roberto Gomez to break, leading 4 racks to 0.
What an exciting match between April Larson and Chris Melling. April is up 6-4. She's 6-5, sorry. She's one of my best friends, and I'm cheering for her from here.
Chris, as they say in the UK, will be under the cosh.
Yeah. And it seems like another great break from Gomez. A little lucky as well, but does work good for him, obviously. From 2 to 3, it's the most important shot in this rack. And she seemed to manage it pretty well.
Well, you saw there on his glove the word Superman. That's his nickname, hence the emblem on the back of his shirt. And right now he's playing like Superman. Kryptonite in the queue.
extension code.
Taking his 30-second extension here because he underlines by doing it the importance of the shot. Not in doubt. No movement there, Christina. He looks, after I thought a little bit of a nervy start, he looks completely composed now.
Yeah, he is looking so much more comfortable on the table. No body movement, even though it's sometimes very funny to see players being so nervous, like Joshua Spiller, partner in the World Cup of Pool. You know, you could see he's very nervous, but it's great that they managed to handle it and still pot the balls. This is the most important.
Yeah, the body movement we might have seen from a couple of early shots from Gomez has now completely disappeared. He's 5-0 ahead, and Albin Ouschan reliving the experience he had when he was representing Austria in the World Cup of Pool. They came in as defending champions. They lost 7-1 to an inspired Slovakian partnership, and he and Mario had very few shots. Now, this is the format. It's 128 players to start off with. No one is eliminated yet. Double elimination within the group stage, which we're in at the moment. 30-second shot clock will be in operation with 1 30-second extension per rack allowed. All the group matches are a race to 9 from the last 64, which is single elimination, up until the semi-finals. Up until the semi-finals and including them, it is a race to 11, and then the final is a race to 13. Best of 25 racks for a first prize of $50,000 and the most coveted title in all of pool.
Rack 6, Roberto Gomez to break, leading 5 racks to 0.
Well, with this break, Gomez is on the 1. The only problem, he's come up dry. Christina, when you're sitting there having been the victim of several break and run-outs, you must be really relieved to get back to the table, like Albin is now.
Yes, indeed, because as I said earlier, it's very possible that somebody can just put 9 racks on you and you can't do anything, and it's always a great feeling when you can actually do something in the match to change this momentum. So from here now on, it's all about Albin's skills.
It's been a day notable for comebacks on this main match table, and Ouschan is more than capable of completing another.
Wow. That's what can happen when you're sitting in the chair for 20-30 minutes waiting for your turn. You're cooling down a lot. Losing the feeling of a table, of the cue ball, and it's very easy to miss.
We can't overstate this man's place on the pool pantheon. Very high, and for him to be in this position, it must come as a real shock to the system.
Yeah, as everybody knows, pool, it's more about your mentality and not really about your skills, because obviously a lot of players here are playing for a long time. They're top players and everybody can run, break and run. So especially when you're down, you have to focus just on every single ball, every single rack. As long as you're gonna feel like you have to come back, it's gonna put extra pressure on you. It's gonna be very hard. So taking it just ball by ball.
Well, Gomez purposely went into the 5 there to develop it, but he didn't quite catch it full enough.
Yeah, I think he's planning on playing combination.
Well, great if it comes off. We'll second guess him if it doesn't.
What a great shot.
Roberto Gomez wins the rock.
Wasn't it just a 5-9 combination, and the Roberto Gomez show just keeps getting better and better. Who would have thought this scoreline, by the way? Albin Ouschan, former China Open champion. He's won so many big tournaments, considered to be one of the favourites here. Finds himself in exactly the same position that Jason Shaw found himself in earlier this afternoon. 6-0 down. Shaw can out of the hole. Can Ouschan? We'll find out after the break.
Yeah, he was struggling with his game a little earlier on the TV table because, as maybe it was mentioned, we stayed here after Gibraltar for the whole 12 days and we didn't get really enough practice time, and he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable because of that. But I'm sure the further he's going to go in the tournament, the better he's going to be.
We have some great news for the defending champion and some great news for Kristina Tkach, my co-commentator. Fedor Gorsht is through 9-6 over Mark Gray. So he's into the last 64, no ifs, buts or maybes. And right now, Roberto Gomez is heading in the same direction. 6-0 up, looking to pile on the agony. The dry break in the previous rack, Christina, it's back to normal.
Yeah, it seems like I think he can even make the 2-ball. I'm pretty sure it does pass the 8-ball, and the only tricky position is 5 and 7. We'll see how he's gonna manage it. I'm pretty sure he can make the 5-ball in a corner pocket, but he has to be really precise with the position for the 4-ball, just to make sure he got a good angle just to stun it to play the 5-ball. He can know right away it was a bad shot.
Yes, coming too narrow to the side cushion. And that's why not only loss of position, but also a self-imposed hook. That said, no nation has produced better kickers, escapees from snookers than the Philippines. Look at that.
Wow. I feel like Filipino are born with a sense of kicking already somehow. Their kicking game is great. It's not just to kick the ball, but also leave a snooker or a really good save. Because on that kind of level, it's just not enough already just to hit the ball. You have to make sure you don't leave your oven in any options.
And when you're up against that, Christina, it must be demoralizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he got the elevation on the cue ball. The only problem, no contact was made whatsoever on the 4. Albin Ouschan, this is turning into an unmitigated disaster for him.
Start the clock, please.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy jump shot because it had to be balanced between the speed and the elevation of the cue, and I guess he misjudged it.
Well, it was a 5-9 combination in the last rack. Looking at a little clip in 4-9 here. There it goes.
Roberto Gomez rack.
A combination of combinations, if you like. 2 successive racks, and Roberto Gomez, well, I'm sure he's quietly delighted and also extremely surprised. He leads 7-0. It's one of those matches, Christina, where everything is going right for him, everything for his opponent. He's turning out to be exactly the opposite.
Yeah, it does really happen sometimes when you feel like no matter what you do, everything is against you, and sometimes for the opponent, no matter what he or she does, it's like everything is perfect, and it can be really frustrating. But exactly in those kind of moments, you have to show how professional you are. Just stay committed to what you have to do. Just sit there, wait for the chance, and whenever you get it, try to turn it
Rack 8.
for the best
Roberto Gomez to break.
for yourself.
7 racks to now.
And look how fortunes can turn. This afternoon, Skylar Woodward beat Jaroslav Polak 9-0. Tonight, in his next match, he's 8-0 down against Ladislav Babica.
You can ask for the better break than this one. Open position is a great opening shot. All he needs to do is to manage play 4-ball and to make position for the 3-ball.
The Philippines, Gomez and Jeffrey De Luna, didn't perform well in the World Cup, beaten quite comprehensively by Estonia. Both Gomez and De Luna also made early exits from the World Masters. Now the big ones arrived, so too has the form of Gomez.
Yeah, it looked like they were really struggling with the game in the World Cup of Pool. Every match was like tough because they were down and then they had to come back. And I don't know why, if it's just me noticed that De Luna was angry with the Gomez all the time with the position choice that Gomez did. So it doesn't really help when you play with your partner and he's always upset with your game. So
it's not the partner that's upset in this one, it's the opposition. Albin Ouschan will be spitting feathers.
wow, Gomez missed it.
He did indeed, Christina. That was not clean by any means, but in terms of the racks won, it is relentless Roberto. He leads Albin Ouschan, listen to this, 8-0. Now, earlier this evening, a little earlier, Fedor Gorsht came through 9-6 against Mark Gray, and we've got his thoughts. This is the final couple of balls, 8 and 9, pretty routine. And he's seen off a tough opponent here, Mark Gray, a former Mosconi Cup player. He'll be delighted with that, Gorsht. 9-6 the scoreline.
Fedor, congratulations, 2 wins in 2. Perfect day.
Yeah, good day. The last match wasn't pretty, but happy to win.
But what's important is the wins. I mean, we've seen it today, you know, some big names have lost some games. There's some worries out there, but not for you. You can go to bed happy tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy today, and I'm happy that I'm probably going to practice tomorrow and I have a day off, so I'll be ready to play single knockout for sure.
And you're determined to defend this title, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to try.
But do you feel in good shape now? Because that must give you a lot of confidence.
Well, every game I'm gaining a little bit, a little more. You know, I'm still not playing perfect, but, you know, as I said, with every win, my confidence grows and I'm going to be better.
Quite scary if you can get any better. Many, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Christina, you've been with Fedor a lot over the last few weeks. You must be really delighted to A, get through, but also, as he said in his interview, to give himself a day off tomorrow to put in more invaluable practice.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest issue with him, when he doesn't feel like he's practiced enough. He doesn't have enough confidence for the game, so he's definitely very happy. He's gonna have the whole day off for practicing and getting ready for the harder matches, more important matches, because you don't have any more chances to lose and come back. Knockout stage.
Well, how about that for a blockbuster break? Shape on the two, not there. But Gomez within touching distance of a day off himself.
It was a pretty good save from Roberto. Very standard. Not an easy safety now for Albin. Wow. How unlucky is that? This is the last thing you wanna be when you're 8-0 down.
He played 52 matches here to win the Championship League, did Albin Ouschan. Having come through that, we thought he would have a massive performance in the next three tournaments. Well, the World Cup and the World Masters, they were write-offs for him. Things just not going right here, not going right at all. At least the good thing for Ouschan, it is double elimination at this stage, so all is not lost.
Yeah, as we discussed earlier, it's one of those moments when
Extension call.
everything goes right for your opponent.
Some bad news for you, Christina. Your friend April Larson succumbed to Chris Melling. Melling coming through 9-7 in the first round.
She was very close. I mean, she's a great player and she's a big fighter, and she was telling me earlier how nervous she was, and then I just look at her and she's so casually running out tracks, so it's definitely a very good start for her on this tournament.
And also congratulations to Veronika Ivanovskaya from Germany, who beat Nick Malai 9-7. I watched a lot of that match from up on the balcony. She played really well.
She did. She got a really good mentality. You know, she's a real fighter. It's a very good quality. Never give up.
And that's the mantra for
Extension
Albin
8.
Ouschan right now. Never give up, even though it seems like not just a mountain to climb, a mountain range to climb.
But it's pool 9 ball and anything can happen. You know, if you lose the momentum, if you're able to switch it, then the game can actually turn upside down.
Well, that is true, but it would be a monumental recovery if Ouschan were to win from here. But a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one small step.
Absolutely. And it looks like he might be able to actually get this step by running out this rack.
Well, pride will dictate that he wants to win a rack and avoid the whitewash.
Albin Ouschan is the right.
No whitewash. He will be relieved to a certain degree about that, Albin Ouschan. Still, there's no doubt about it. Roberto Gomez holding all the aces. One more rack required to beat one of the favourites for this title. So much happening at the World Pool Championship, and it's only the first evening. Darren Appleton, one of the great warriors of 9-ball pool, looking good on table 2. He leads Christoph Reinches 8-2, looking to get revenge for his defeat by Reinches and Joshua Fuller in the final of the World Cup a few weeks back. 3 very interesting results to give you, by the way. Radoslav Babica has beaten Skylar Woodward 9-2. Michael Kovenciak has beaten Jason Shaw 9-8. And Billy Thorpe joins Woodward and Shaw on the one-loss side of the draw, having lost 9-7 to Mark Vidal.
Very controlled break by Albin, and having a very good position to start this rack.
Extension code.
You know, the old cliche that everyone uses one rack at a time, that comes to mind here. That's all Ouschan can do. If he can get back to maybe 8-5, 8-6, then Gomez could start to feel the heat.
He made a great shot, but obviously he's not happy because he got a different angle on the 4-ball that doesn't allow him just to stun it and have a comfortable position for the 5-ball. So now he's got to take a harder shot to cut it into a corner to be able to leave the cue ball for a good position for the 5.
Now, I'm surprised he overcut that. It wasn't easy to pot, I understand, but maybe had he undercut it, you could understand that, because he was then trying to hold the cue ball for the 5. But by overcutting, it made the positional aspect of the shot even more difficult.
It looks like he put a little unexpected spin, outside spin, which caused overcutting the ball.
Extension code.
There was unexpected miss from Roberto, and he totally misjudged the speed. Sorry. Even if he would make the ball, then he wouldn't be able to play the 5-ball anywhere.
Yes, it wasn't just the miss, was it? It was the amount he missed it by. Sometimes the final rack is the toughest to win.
That's true. Albin made a very effective and simple, at the same time, save. But as we discussed earlier, Roberto is Filipino. That means that he's very good in kicking balls.
Well, technically speaking, the 4 is on, but where the 5 and 6 are located, it would take a magician to do something here.
Looks like he's trying to play the bank. Wow. Almost. It was a two-way shot. Obviously he tried to hide the cue ball behind 6 and 5. Same time, tried to play a bank shot.
Yeah, it didn't quite come off, but that's a perfect illustration, isn't it, Christina, of the creativeness of the Filipinos in general.
Yeah, it's always very exciting to watch the match, and if you want to learn something about new shots, it's definitely very good thing to watch Filipino playing. So obviously they're very creative with choice of the shots.
Ouschan clinging on by his fingernails. Under the body shot. Patented in snooker by Mark Williams.
That was a very smart shot. Helps to control the cue ball more if he hits the 6 ball. Basically stop the cue ball. And at the same time open up the position. So in case he has an open shot, he doesn't need to play safeties anymore.
Foul shot. Ball in hand. Start the clock, please.
Well, surely, Christina, that is basically that.
Yeah, it was quite a safety battle in this rack.
Just sustained concentration for 2 more shots.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, you are kidding me. The shoulder into that shot was quite apparent. And bear in mind, this is a man who's 8-1 ahead. That doesn't bode well if he goes deep in the event.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of the shot on the Championships League when he was playing with Naoki Oi and missed a 9 ball to win the match and go into a winnings group.
Those things tend to linger. I'm sure Albin Ouschan can't quite believe he's still involved in the match. Only just, but he is. It should have been a 9-1 victory for that man. Missing the 8 ball there was unforgivable. It is 8-2.
Yeah, as we said earlier, winning the last track is the hardest part of the whole game.
So we do have some results from outside tables though. Other folks have got over the line. Let's take a look at this. Very good indeed from Mark Vidal Claramunt, who beats Billy Thorpe 9-7. It wasn't a good night for the American World Cup pairing because Skylar Woodward was beaten 9-2 by the Polish veteran Radoslav Babica. And talking of veterans, Darren Appleton has got a second win. He's loving his pool at the moment, and he defeats Christoph Reichers comprehensively 9-2.
Rack 11, Albin Ouschan break, trailing to rack straight.
So in half an hour's time, when Albin Ouschan is still battling away, will we be talking about that missed 8 ball from Roberto Gomez? The point is, if Gomez can put a whole string of racks together, breaking and running, Ouschan is well capable of doing exactly the same.
He's definitely capable of putting a couple of racks together, so it's all about the break.
one other result for you. Neil Svian is through. He's beaten Yip Kin Ling Leo from Hong Kong 9-6.
Extension code.
Struggling to place his bridge. It's quite a tricky shot, isn't it?
Albin Ouschan rack.
That was Ouschan's best rack of the match so far. Efficient, and he continues to stay alive. Roberto Gomez was 8-0 ahead. Now it's 8-3. One man who has got over the line, though, is Darren Appleton.
Darren, many, many congratulations. A perfect day.
Yeah, someone said today I get through quite comfortably, except for the first match. First match is always the toughest, so to win 9-7, that was like a relief. Where this match, just played Christoph, obviously just beat me in the World Cup of Pool final, even though it's doubles. So I wanted to get one back, and probably the best I played in a big tournament for 4 or 5 years, so everything just sort of clicked.
And you're looking around the tables, the matches, a lot of people have won one and lost one today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm delighted that I've got the day off tomorrow, so I'm straight into the last 64, because tomorrow's like Judgment Day. We call it like Judgment Day, where it's like you stay or you go home. So just really happy to be through, can relax tonight, have a couple of beers with you, and then just get ready for because the tournament really starts in the final 64.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a whirlwind few weeks, wasn't it? I mean, with the World Cup, but this is the serious stuff now for yourself, because you knew you were always going to be in this. But as you say, that tomorrow off, could that be key for you just to focus, just reshape?
Yeah, definitely. And I think just getting that last-minute call into the World Cup of Pool has sort of like re-energised me, refocused me. So I'm hoping that's going to be a stepping stone for me now to try and climb back to the top. And to be honest, this is the first time I've come to a tournament in 5 years where I actually believe that I've got a chance to win. But I'm not looking that far ahead. I just know that my game's there. I've just got to control my emotions and stay in good physical shape.
Brilliant, Darren. Many congratulations.
Cheers, mate.
Well spoken, Darren Appleton, and his World Cup partner, Carl Boyes, has taken
Albin
the
Ouschan to break,
opening rack from
trailing 3 racks straight.
Bader Alawadi over on table 5. So can Ouschan continue to fight back? Crunching break, but Christina, always annoying, irritating when you get a kiss like that, the 4 ball was to blame there, and the 1 runs totally safe.
Yes, definitely, but we also have to admit that breaking hard in the middle of the 1 ball, it's always a little bit tricky because there's so many balls on the way of the 1 ball and anything can happen. And as you could see in all the matches that are going, it's very hard to control the break if you just break them in the middle of the 1 ball. It's a very great save by Albin. Roberto is taking his jump cue, so probably we'll see jump shot from him.
Yeah, use the purple 5 ball to
Extension
hold
bolt.
behind the pink 4. You know, he's as good at jumping as he's at kicking.
I believe so. We'll see.
Well, that was almost spectacular. One, 4, 5.
Yes, he's definitely looking for the carom to make the 5 ball. But it looks like the 1 ball is way too down and you have to really draw the ball to be able to hit the right side of the 4. Yeah, it wasn't easy.
Well, at least the awkwardness of the queuing here is maximised. Not just over the pocket, but over the 5 as well.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest shots on the pool table. It's when you have to be jacked up, play from the ball. And also, the position for the 2 ball is a little bit tricky. Even if he's going to make the 1, he has to hit it pretty hard to make the cue ball travel back.
And you almost get the feeling with the Filipinos, Christina, that sometimes it's better to leave awkward queuing than a conventional kick.
Yeah, you're right.
Tell you about a match that has gone hill. Jeremy Sosi from the USA has defeated David Al-Qaedi, twice World Masters champion, 9-8.
It was a very funny position because he couldn't really make a combination to make a 5 ball, so supposed to play 4 ball, hitting the 5 and hoping the 5 wouldn't end up somewhere where it did. So now he probably have to play safe shot again. It's a great shot. He went for the bank.
Really controlled bank that to retain position on the 6.
Yeah, it's not only making the ball, but also you gotta be sure that cue ball doesn't go up from the rail too high, so he can see the 6 ball.
This is intriguing now. Is the impossible dream suddenly possible? It's still unlikely that Albin Ouschan can win this match, but there is a chance. He was 8-0 down. Now, though, it's 8-4. If you triumph in the Whirlpool Championship, you go down as one of the game's lucky players, one of the game's finest players, because to capture this trophy is a lifelong ambition for all of them. For many years it was held in Doha, Qatar, but now it's back in England It's back under
Track
the
13,
promotional
Albin Ouschan to break
guidance
training
of
by 4
Matchroom
racks straight.
Multisport, and they've done a wonderful job to get this tournament organised, and now we're off and running. And maybe Ouschan is off and running in this rack as well. Purple 5-ball disappeared, and he does have a shot, albeit a high tariff shot, on the 1. Of course, Ouschan is at the point he has been for quite some time now, where his next mistake might well be his last mistake. That said, given the 8-ball that Roberto Gomez missed, nothing is a formality for him.
Extension code.
Yes, he missed a terrible 8-ball if you're just joining us, on the verge of winning 9-1.
You could see a lot of body movement on this shot as well.
Well, what a story that would be to cap day 1 of this championship. Someone winning from 8-0 down, 9-8. Now, I'm not being overly dramatic here, but I genuinely think there's a chance. As Gomez weakens, Ouschan strengthens.
Extension code.
Well, at least the 7 balls in the way, Christina.
Yeah, it seemed like the 2-ball goes only in a half of the bucket, so he had to be really precise. But as we said again, you don't want to leave any kick shots for Filipino, especially if the ball hanging around the pocket.
He doesn't get the 2, but he gets the 3. But not a lot of use, really.
Very inaccurate shot. I believe Albin now having a perfect angle to split for an 8 cluster. Let's see if he's gonna go for that. Good
Well, he
shot.
does split the 4 and the 8 as Christina predicted, but boy, the cue ball got away from him.
Yeah, it's a very hard shot now, as he has to be jacked up to draw the ball if he would like to still play the position. So I feel like it's so much safer to play a safe shot. Oh,
Well,
see
Christina, that
that
shows his
coming?
mindset.
yeah. It was perfect between 7 and 8. Well judged.
Close to fouling the ball there. Desislava Boshilova, the referee, though, very experienced in the world of snooker. She was well positioned to see that. Sometimes it can be an optical illusion, but he was really close.
And as you predict before, you know, coming from 8-0 to 8-5, it might put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Because now, as you could see, the game turn around a little bit.
Albin Ouschan wins the rock.
There it is, maintaining his recovery. You know, the worst kind of pressure in cue sports is the one where you're saying to yourself, if I lose this, I will never forgive myself. Roberto Gomez, remember, was 8-0 ahead. You don't lose matches from 8-0 up when it's a race to 9, but there's a possibility that could happen. One player who has lost this evening has to go into the losers qualifying round is double World Masters champion David Al-Qaedi. How about that? Beaten by Jeremy Sosi from the United States, 9-8. So Sosi goes into the last 64. Al-Qaedi has to go again and try and get over the line in a winner-take-all contest tomorrow. So, Christina, have you seen many matches won from
Rock 14.
8-0 down,
Albin
9-8?
Ouschan break, trailing by 5 rocks
None,
straight.
to be honest. I haven't even heard about those kind of matches, but I believe it's quite possible. I was losing once, race to 7 being 6-0 up. After that I won the tournament. I went to the loser side and climbed the whole way back. Sometimes it's like giving you an extra motivation, you know, but it's the worst feeling you can get as a pool player, I guess.
The first round of the World Snooker Championship at the Crucible. That's a race to 10 frames, and the biggest comeback in that was from 9-2 down to win 10-9. Nigel Bond overcame Cliff Thorburn, a former world champion, the 1980 world champion, 10-9, as I say, from 7 back with 8 to play.
I mean, of course it can happen
Extension
when
code.
everything turns around. You suddenly start feeling bad that you can't do anything about your game and your opponent suddenly start playing perfect. It can happen, but maybe once in your life.
And as an elite player who's been there and done that, Albin Ouschan will be viewing this as a glorious challenger, an opportunity to do something very few have ever pulled off. Don't let Roberto Gomez hear me say this, but right now I'd love 8 racks each. That would be very interesting.
I did, but I don't think Gomez would like to see that. He looked quite nervous already, sitting in his chair. Because there's also a possibility he's not coming back to table.
Well, if he does lose, he will go back to his room this evening and just replay that horror 8-ball over and over in his mind.
It happens sometimes that you lose your focus when you feel like you've won already. It's just 2 balls, easy balls. And it can play a really bad joke with you. As my dad always said, as long as the last ball is not in the pocket, you didn't lose or didn't win. Have to be focused on every single shot.
Albin Ouschan wins the rack.
What a day of upsets we've seen. What a day of comebacks we've seen. This would be the most extraordinary comeback of the lot, though. It really would. Albin Ouschan, I'm sure, can't quite believe he's still in there punching, but he is. And this is the reason. Roberto Gomez in rack 10. He was on the verge of victory. Just the 8 and 9 to go. And look at this. He perceptibly snatched at the 8. Caught it far too thick. It remained on the table. His cueing that was so smooth for the most part broke down there. The head went up, you saw it. The 8 was missed. Ouschan was given a lifeline, and the match carries on. So these are the other matches still in progress. Of course, all of the 16 tables now not being used. It's getting to the end of the evening. There's Carl Boyes now 4-up on Badr Alawadi.
Thank you. Rack 15. Albin Ouschan to break, trailing by 6 racks to 8.
Tell you what, Christina, that will do. That will do nicely.
It's a great break. We can ask for more. If he's gonna keep breaking like this, then it might turn into disaster for Roberto Gomez.
The only thing that Ouschan could possibly complain about here It's the slightly hampered queuing over the 9. But if the 1 goes in, surely it's another rack on his side of the ledger. Of course, in these kind of situations, the pressure can sometimes switch. The chaser then thinks, well, hold on a minute, I can win this. And starts to get nervous himself, but Ouschan, the world champion in 2016, is one of those cool customers who can deal with pressure. What a storyline here. Not missing this, I can tell you. Albin Ouschan.
Where's the rock?
Well, he was basically heading towards the losers qualification match. Now he's still right in the match. He trails only 8-7. Can Roberto Gomez somehow just crawl over the winning line? An extraordinary opening day at the World Pool Championship is coming to a close. This arena is absolutely terrific. It's been a buzz with activity from 12 noon today. So many matches, and yet
Albin Ouschan to break.
the last
Trailing by
match on the
7 racks to
main
8.
TV table could provide the story that tops them all. Can Albin Ouschan come back from 8-0 down to win?
Great break by Albin Ouschan. A little bit lucky, but it looks like luck came back, turned around, and facing Albin Ouschan right now, giving him an opportunity to run this rack and make this match hill-hill.
Well, pool balls, of course, are inanimate objects, but they don't forgive when you make a really, really bad mistake, as Gomez did on the verge of winning 9-1. They
You
don't
know,
forgive.
A lot of players actually believe in pool gods. You know, when you being very unresponsible about shooting some balls, sometimes they can really punish you very hard for doing this.
Look at that face. Normally happy-go-lucky, right now churning inside.
Extension code.
Taking advantage of his 30-second extension here. And that's because he knows if this 5-ball is slotted home, the rack's at his mercy. Well, it came away from the cushion quite some way, but still fell in. Oh,
Wow.
all of that toil, all of that work and effort might well have been undone by a missed 6-ball. Gomez just rev the engine on an empty tank and stumble across the line.
Extension code.
This time the 8-ball drops in. The Demons leave stage left. What a performance to get back into the match from Albin Ouschan. But in the end, it is Gomez who is awash with relief. He was 8-0 ahead. In the end, he wins, but only by 9 racks to 7.